Rodriguez, and today we're going to be talking about the reasons why we want to use a realtor on a purchase transaction.
Yes, and my name is Micah Grafsgaard with Paradise Real Estate Brokers. Super excited to be here with you, Will. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thanks, Micah. Appreciate it. All right. So let's get into it. So this is it's going to be a short agenda today, guys. We're going to be talking about what a realtor is, what are the advantages of using a realtor, how do we pay for our realtor, and what are the next steps after, okay? So once again, my name is Will Rodriguez. I am the VP of Operations of Smart Money in Honolulu. Smart Money, we've been around since 2007. We're a locally owned and operated company. We're here in Honolulu. We're not part of a bigger company or anything like that. What makes us different is that we have access to many different lenders. So we don't work for the bank, we work for you. As such, we have the ability to price your loan around and get you the best deal. Think of us like a Costco for mortgages. We're getting the rates and the cost at wholesale, and we're able to pass that on to you. And of course, once we have access to all the banks, we're able to better compete for your business because the banks are competing for your business versus you trying to do that. All right. So without further ado, once again, let's go ahead and introduce Micah. Micah, take it away.
All right. Hey, guys. My name is Micah Grafsgaard. I am the owner and principal broker at Paradise Real Estate Brokers. We're a boutique real estate brokerage here on the island of Oahu in beautiful Hawaii. Been licensed about 7 years. We do represented several hundred clients in the state of Hawaii. So yeah, we're really excited to be here with you. And I think this is just such a great topic because especially in 2023, gosh, I can't believe it's already 2023, but just so many misconceptions essentially about what a realtor is, lots of misconceptions. So I'm really excited to kind of put some of that to rest and just add some clarity on what exactly we do and how our clients can benefit by using us. And yeah, so let's get right into it.
One thing, if I can interject, sorry, Micah, to interrupt.
Oh, for sure.
So,
you're good.
A couple of things, you guys. So Micah, actually, he's very modest, but he's actually been featured twice on HGTV.
Yep.
Micah, if you could just share a little bit of that, I think it's excellent because I love to watch their show. So go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're always looking for opportunities to kind of create a really memorable experience with our clients. And so a couple of times we've been presented with the opportunity to be on HGTV with our clients. So it's just a really fun way to create that memorable experience where our clients can kind of remember the buying process and right. Looking at houses. So that's been super fun.
Yeah, so, it's an excellent 2 episodes. I love watching those, by the way. So I figure pepper that in just because he has been, and not a lot of realtors get the opportunity to do this. So go ahead, Micah, take it away again.
Yeah, claim to fame there. Claim to fame. So first thing that we're going to talk about is just kind of define what a realtor actually is. And so a realtor is somebody that coordinates the purchase or the sale of real estate for our clients. So I like to say coordinates because essentially there are situations where some people try to do this themselves as like for sale by owner or that sort of thing. And I think what's often missed in that is that since we do this professionally full time, we're attempting to take a huge load off of our clients' plate. Most of our clients work full time. And so this is a way where we can kind of take control of this really complicated process for our clients and help be that voice of reason for them, just to make it a little bit easier for them. It's just really great to have that extra support when going through that process. Now, the requirements for becoming a real estate agent are you have to go through a pre-licensing course where you essentially, I think it's like a 40-hour course where you sit in class and then you take an exam to pass the course before you're able to take a state and federal exam, after which you can apply for your license. And then after that, you're able to get your license and then what they call hang your license at a real estate brokerage where you can become an independent contractor. So that's essentially...
Sorry, guys. My apologies. So I do see some questions here. So what I'll do is I'll note the questions and then we'll answer them at the end if time permits. Okay, guys?
Okay.
Thanks. Yeah.
Sounds good. So we're just going to go over a few of the main advantages of using a realtor. So advantage number one, and this is a big one, is that you gain the expertise of somebody who knows where your leverage points are. Every transaction is very, very different. And so working with somebody that has done this several times before, knows what kind of repairs you can ask for, knows where your leverage points are. For instance, if there's no competition on a property and it's been on the market a couple of months, we know that we've got a lot of leverage with that seller where we can really negotiate something very, very favorable for our buyer clients. So that's just one example. And it also pours into when we represent sellers too. If we know that it's a very competitive situation, there's certain things that we can do to create that sort of like bidding war that everybody loves, or all the sellers love. The buyers do not like it, of course. But
that's true. And if I may interject again, I have personally experienced this. Micah worked with a close relative of mine on the listing of a property in a building where it's kind of tough to sell due to some litigations. Micah was able to put together quite possibly the best video for that particular property. The marketing strategy that we put together in a building where they're having a hard time selling, Micah was able to sell the highest priced units. And I think it was in record time. I believe it took less than a week and a half to go from the time that the property went on the market to the time that somebody had already put in an offer. And so it is because of this that, that particular advantage of having somebody who's familiar with the market and knows what they're doing, that can make a world of difference. So, once again, personally from a close relative of mine, I know that, he's able to pull through. And so, thumbs up, Micah.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was a really fun transaction. I'm so happy everything went the way that it did. And I think like in our digital age that we live in right now, it is absolutely essential that we look for all of the opportunities and media channels that we can to help get our seller clients as much exposure as possible, because we know that the more exposure we can get on our clients' properties, the higher the sale price will be. So this is actually a perfect example of that. And like you said, record timing and record sale price. So let's keep that record in that building for as long as we can. I like that. I like that title, like high sale price. So. Advantage number two here. So when you work with a realtor, you're hiring somebody to coordinate the complicated process of buying or selling a home. Just like I mentioned earlier, buying or selling a home in 2023, I feel like it's something that a lot of people want to discredit real estate agents for, think that it's a much easier process than it is. But as we all know, whenever you've got a lot of people involved in something and you've got a lot of money on the line and your assets are on the line, it's a complicated process, and you really want to work with somebody who's been through it before and who knows how to guide you through that process. So that's really the second advantage, just working with somebody that's got that experience.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, to speak to that also, once again, another situation. This was with a client of mine. If you recall, last year he had bought a property and unfortunately had to turn around and sell it almost like right away. And I believe he had some issues selling it. He had gone in a different direction with a different company and wasn't able to sell it, and the property just sat on the market. And it was again because of that strategy that Micah had the knowledge of that particular market, because that's also super important, for you to know each particular market. The market is different in the east side of the island than it is on the west side of the island. And so I can definitely speak to that definitely Micah does have a really good grasp on that. And that's why, time and time again, he keeps coming up, as a highly recommended realtor.
I really appreciate that. Yeah, those situations are always really special where we can kind of swoop in and really help somebody who's in kind of a tough situation. I'm sure some people watching this, they've had a situation where they've had a house on the market that they haven't been able to sell, and it really, really ties you up for a period of time.
It does, man.
And I think this just makes me think, like, having been in the business for several years, I really, really realized that, all real estate agents I'm sure everybody has great intentions, but unfortunately, not everybody is created equal. Our skills are just different.
Right.
The backgrounds that we did before we got into real estate and how that plays into what we do now is different. And so you really want to work with somebody with the specialized skills who can help you achieve your goals. And in the case of selling a property now more than ever, with the market changing and some volatility, it's really important to work with somebody who you know and you have the confidence in that can actually get it done for you. All right, advantage number 3. So this is going to be the last one. Is building a relationship with a professional real estate agent can be a really fruitful relationship. The ongoing consulting that a real estate agent can provide after a transaction can really be beneficial to your overall wealth building strategy. Now, this becomes really important, and I've realized this over the years, is that we get a lot of repeat clients, and these repeat clients become good friends of ours, and they kind of rely on our consultation and our advice on how to make their real estate decisions. And that's been a really big part of this, is when the market starts to shift, when we start to see volatility, it's really important to have a good real estate agent in your corner that you can rely on for this professional advice, so that you can make decisions that will positively impact your wealth building strategy.
Right. And a lot of times too, I was going to say, a lot of times too, the real estate agent is also, after you're done with the transaction, they're the best source of anything that you can think of, whether it be it construction, whether it be it cleaning, whether it be it ACs. They have a wealth of knowledge. And again, if it's somebody that does this for a living, if this is how they earn their living, they have this circle of influence where they know if you need to do something to the house, they might have access to it. So they're like the quarterback. They can actually help you get to where you need to be, not only just with the house, but also with all the ancillary products that come along with it. And I can say that, once again, speaking from my personal experience, we had some issues, and you were able to help us with the flooring company, which was, by the way, pretty excellent. And it's all local people. And I like that about you, that, obviously we try to keep the business here locally, and you're very inclined to just obviously help and recommend people that you yourself have used. And, in my experience, I've had nothing but great success with that as well. So, thumbs up on that, man, for real.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. Over the years, we just build so many great relationships with different vendors, and that's a big part of it too. But at the end of the day, we want to see our clients do well. It's like the rising tide raises all boats, right? So we want to see our clients do well. We want everybody to build wealth through real estate. Especially here locally. If you live here on island, it's just such a great way to invest in your local market. I'm kind of like, I like what Warren Buffett says. He says, invest in your core competency, and that's where you're going to have the most amount of success. And I take that to heart. I like to have a lot of control over our investments by being so close to them. And we can give indicators to our clients on where the market is headed, so that they can make really informed decisions moving forward as well. So that wraps up all the advantages. We're just going to go over a couple more things here. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about is, how do I pay for my realtor? Now, this is something.
Before we go to the next slide, sorry, keep on interrupting. My apologies, guys. I'm really excited about this part. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a poll here. I'm going to give you about 20 to 30 seconds. The question that's in everybody's mind is, how do I pay for my realtor? This is the question that comes up more often than not. And so I'm going to give you guys about 30 seconds to answer. I'm going to go ahead and start the poll right here. And the 3 answers are, you pay for it up front, you pay for it at the end through the closing cost or as part of the closing cost. And the third answer is, I don't. Okay. So let's go ahead in another 15 seconds. These are really good answers. Okay. All right. Okay. And let's see. And I will go ahead and end the poll here. Drum rolls, please. All right. Okay. So we got some. Let's see, a good amount. It says in the closing costs, some upfront, and a few I don't. Okay, Micah, take it away. How do we pay for my realtor?
All right. All right, a bit of a trick question there because I'll get into this, but essentially in traditional real estate transactions, the commission is usually pre-negotiated for the seller to pay for the commission. Now, the reason for this is when the seller meets with a real estate agent that they're going to work with to list their property for sale, at that point in time, they determine what the commission is going to be set to pay all parties. This is something that can be negotiated, but it really essentially depends on the caliber of the agent that you're hiring and what they're going to offer to do to market your property and that sort of thing to help you get the most amount of money possible. And that's really key right there. Oftentimes there are some companies or agents out there that may offer to do it for less, but you really got to look into their track record to see, what their like list price to sold price ratio is. Metrics like that, I think oftentimes in a very, very heated market, those guys may take a lot of listings and they may be able to get a decent price for their sellers. But I see so many listings because I'm in the MLS every single day, and I see so many properties listed by these brokerages where unfortunately, it looks like they pulled out their Motorola Razr from 2008. And I'm like, I just can't believe it. You're listing an $800,000 property and you don't even have the respect to hire a professional photographer to feature this property in its best light to help your seller maximize the sale price. So there is a little bit of a science to it. And I know oftentimes sellers are really in a bind and, they're paying their real estate agent a lot of money. And I'm definitely empathetic to that or sympathetic to that. I want to make sure I get a lot of value out of the money I spend as well. So I'm definitely with you on that. But just wanted to mention that the commission is also broken up into 4 parts. So a typical commission here in Hawaii is anywhere between like 5 to 7%. And again, that's dependent on what's offered, like staging and marketing, advertising. But that's split 4 ways between both of the brokerages, the buyers and sellers brokerage, and then each of the agents in the brokerage. So if you really divide that by 25% or break that into 4, that's kind of how that works out, just to provide that clarification.
Got it. Oh, that's good.
And then I just wanted to mention one more thing on that is that buyers typically do not pay the real estate agent. And so it's really important that a buyer chooses to work with the best agent that they can find. Absolutely. It really makes sense to do that because if you're not paying for that agent, you might as well just work with the best, So just wanted to mention that there. Now, the next step here is, if you're looking to purchase a property or if you have a property to sell, it's always a good idea to just start talking to a real estate agent. If you're selling a property, it might be a good idea to speak with a couple of them. My rule of thumb for that is you always want to work with somebody who has the skills to get the job done first. And then secondly, you want to work with somebody who you really like to work with. It's a long-term relationship working with somebody for 3 to 6 months.
It's like dating.
And it's like dating. And you want to make sure that you really get along with that person. You've got a lot of mutual respect. I've heard people, unfortunately, kind of arguing with each other over little differences before. And in that case, it was more of a matter of like personality differences. And so it just makes sense to work with somebody that you really get along with and you feel like really respects you and understands you. A good place to find a real estate agent is the Honolulu Board of Realtors website. That's a great resource. Or if you know that you want to work with us on your transaction, we would be super happy to work with you. And we also offer a couple of exclusive guarantees. Now, this is something that is exclusive to our company at Paradise Real Estate Brokers. So our seller's offer is that we guarantee that we will sell your home for 100% of asking price, or we'll pay you the difference. Now, just like anything in life, there are some conditions to that. So if you'd like to learn a little bit more about that, we'd love to explore that with you and talk to you about that. But what that honestly does is that takes so much risk off of your plate so that it puts a lot of the onus on us as well. And it's kind of like a performance guarantee where we guarantee to perform for you. Otherwise, we'll actually pay you out of our pocket. And now our guarantee for buyers is that we guarantee that we will save you at least $5,000 on your next home purchase, or we'll pay you the difference. So some really, really powerful guarantees that are really geared to save you money and to kind of give us that onus, that responsibility to do our best work for you. And we think that's extremely important. We're not making empty promises. We have contracts that we'll sign for these guarantees, and we'd love to work with you and offer them to you.
That's fantastic, man. And it also kind of helps us, the buyer, to know that, we're all in this together. You know what I mean? It's definitely not just us versus the realtor, but all of us are in this together. So that's
For sure.
That's pretty excellent.
And for our clients, there's just so much money on the line. A buyer here in Hawaii looking for a single family home could easily be in the $800 to $1.2 million range. And, we came up with these guarantees because we just want to show our clients that we've got some sweat in the game too. We're willing to put our reputation on the line to show that we're willing to do our best work for them. And then the same goes for sellers too. We don't make empty promises. We want to perform. We want to get you the highest sale price with the least amount of hassle possible. So definitely reach out to us if that's something that you're interested
in. Congrats, man. That's fantastic. I like that.
For sure.
All right. So, here's the question part, and just give me 1 second. Let me gather up all the questions that we have here. We only have a couple of minutes left, you guys, so I'll try to be brief here. Okay, so Jen is asking, what is the difference between a realtor and a broker? I guess you had mentioned the word broker and realtor. So what's the difference between the two of them?
Yeah. No, that's a really great question. So if you have the option, it's always great to actually work with a real estate broker. Right. There is a very big difference. Real estate brokers have been in the business full-time selling for at least 3 years. Now, full-time means 40 hours a week, and their broker needs to sign off on them working that amount of time before they can actually get their broker's license. After that, you need to take an 80-hour course and pass like a lot more exams to get your broker's license. So it's a big commitment. The real estate agents that choose to become brokers are really serious about the business. So definitely advisable to hire brokers, not what's called sales associates. No offense, sales associates, but
Gotcha. All right. Let's see. So that was my apologies. That's Kyle. Okay. So Jan says, why can't I just find a property and then get a realtor? Are you saying, I guess I'm guessing, is it easier to find a property and then talk to a realtor?
Yeah, that's a good question too. It's really different every time. And this is something about just being malleable as a real estate agent, is sometimes our clients will find the property before they reach out to us. So it really depends on the client and what fits their needs. I know everybody, when they're looking for a property, they're on Zillow.com or any different website, just kind of seeing what's available. So oftentimes we do sell properties where our clients reach out to us and engage us after they've found the property to kind of coordinate everything for them. And in that case, it just comes back to our clients are busy, they're working full time, they need somebody in their court to really get it done for them. It just like the send of a text, we can have an offer drafted and connect you with a lender and all this good stuff. So we can definitely kind of move mountains for our clients. Yeah.
And I guess this was a related question from Pat. I guess, is Zillow/Google accurate when it comes down to properties?
Oh, that's such a good question. Several years ago, I was talking to some colleagues and we were reading the fine print in Zillow's home estimator. And the fine print says, I'll have to read it again sometime soon to get updated on this. But at that time, the margin of error for the home valuator's estimate, I think it's called, was like 20%. So plus or minus 20%.
Just a tiny bit, man.
Just a tiny bit. Yeah. 20% on $1 million. That's a swing from 800 to 1.2. I mean, so, and this is really good just in context. Like, so let's say we come to meet with a seller, and they're checking the Zestimate. It can really fill you with some false expectations. So it's really just good to speak with a real estate broker who understands the local market and who understands the comparables. It's unfortunate that these automated algorithms are kind of defining the value of homes when it really comes down to neighborhood specific, comparable properties. And Oahu, I mean, everybody knows this, but every street is very different from each other. So it's difficult to say that a home in Kaimuki is going to be the same in Kapahulu or, Eva Beach and Kapolei. It's very, very different across the board. It's, I don't have to drill down on that anymore. We understand.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's actually, that's an accurate statement right there. And Travis is asking, what is the expected time from beginning to end on a purchase transaction?
Great question. Yeah. So it really depends on where you're at in the process. If you say that you're just starting out right now, you're not pre-approved, you haven't looked at any homes, if you're in that stage, I'd say a realistic expectation for a timeline would be somewhere between like 2 to 3 months. And that's moving pretty quickly. That means that you really want to get into a new home. But yeah, it can go that fast. It can go a little bit faster. A transaction, it can take anywhere between 30 to 60 days. We're seeing a lot of 30 and 45-day transactions right now. So it really depends on how motivated you are, and also how soon you find a property that you want to purchase.
Right. And then last question, and this will be the last one because we're running a little over here. Sophia's asking, how much down payment do you recommend? And I feel like that's probably more of a me question as a loan.
Yeah, that's a lender question.
So Sophia, that's a good question. And it really, the answer is, it depends, right? Everybody's situation, just like Micah mentioned, is different. And so that's one of the important steps, to talk to a lender to make sure that they can fit the particular transaction to your specific situation. Everybody's financials are different. So it may take, 3%, it may take 20% down payment. Everybody's situation is different. So, but if you have additional questions, you can definitely, we can follow up after the webinar. But outside of that, Micah, any closing words for us?
Yeah, just on the note of down payment, it's also a little bit relevant on the real estate agent side of the fence, where we're submitting offers for you too. So just to let you know, if there's a competitive situation and you do have the extra cash, if you want to beef up your offer a little bit to look a little bit better next to the other offers, more down payment can certainly add that extra like beef that we're talking about, where it can kind of excite the seller. So a little bit relevant on our side of the fence too, but obviously more for the mortgage side.
Gotcha. Right on. Well, hey, Micah, thanks again. The title of our thing is short webinars. This went a little bit over, but a lot of good information, you guys. So we went through all the, what the realtor is, what are the advantages of being a realtor, how do we pay for a realtor, and then what do we do next? On that, what are the best ways to get in touch with you, Mike? I know you're a busy guy, being the owner and everything. Is this something that people can just reach out to you via email, cell phone? What's the best point of contact, I guess?
Yeah, best way to reach out to me is either by phone right here or email. And then also we've got a great search function on our website. If you want to go to paradisebrokers.com, if you want to start your search there before you reach out to us, that's totally fine too. We're like a very low pressure real estate brokerage. We're not trying to pressure anybody into anything that they don't want to do. And yeah, we would love to work with you if this is something that interests you, or if you think we're a good fit.
Right on, Micah. And one thing we forgot to say earlier on, and again, Micah, the way that he is now is the way that he's with all of his clients. I've seen him in action. He's a very even-keeled type of guy, but Micah is also a veteran. And so this is, he works with all different clients, but veterans. I know that you have a soft spot for the veterans as well. Yep. So definitely look them up. You are Army, correct?
Yep.
Right. You ever deployed to?
Yeah, Afghanistan in 2013.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, thank you for your service, sir, again. Right on. Well, guys, thanks again for joining us. Micah, thank you so much for your time, and appreciate, all the knowledge. We'll definitely follow up. We'll put some of the links on the video here that we sent to you guys. And if you have any questions, any concerns, feel free to reach out to Micah, www.paradisebrokers.com, or you can call his phone number, 808-277-0869, or Micah@paradisebrokers.com. Thanks again, Micah. You're an officer and a gentleman as usual, sir.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Take care.
All right. Bye.